I was too busy thinking about my little boyfriend that was back left in town or whatever, couldn't enjoy. Now that's the type of stuff, you try to say, I don't regret nothing, but there's some stuff that I wish I wouldn't have did. There's some stuff that I wish that, baby, that little ninja was where he was at, and I guess where he was supposed to be at, and I was somewhere in a good place, but couldn't even appreciate it. See, that's what I'm disappointed in myself about, but I'm not going to dwell on it, but I ain't forgot it. Like, dang, I should have took advantage of, that was something healthier for me, and I just should have been able to enjoy it. And so I want my kids, when they do get good experience, even decent, because everything, I'm just going to be real. I don't feel like I can afford to do everything like, for example, the boys' so-called dad can link up with somebody else and do, or even appear to do. He's probably not even doing it, but he just know how to sweet talk somebody into doing it. I'm not gonna sweet talk nobody into doing that, because I just feel like if you're gonna do it, I want it done from the heart. I'm not trying to be ugly to you, but whether I'm being, and I'm definitely not trying to be ungrateful, but whether I'm being a little difficult or whatever, seemingly to you, should I say? Because to me, it doesn't be difficult. That's just me being real. That's like, okay, if I don't feel like doing this, I don't want to. I have my reasons, and I feel like you should not get offended by that. And too many people, and I say that because too many people have gotten offended by me not me discarding of whatever they was telling me to do. And again, it could have been right or wrong. It could have been, that I needed to apply that, or it could have been that I just didn't need to hear that. But either way, it was off of my emotions, maybe of how I was feeling or getting treated by somebody else, and I couldn't receive it or whatever the case may be. And they literally they got spit mad to the where, damn, I'm sitting here trying to tell this person something good, but they not hearing me, and like their feelings just got hurt instead of them knowing how to just let me just pick up and move on. She need the information from me, maybe I'll still have it available, or maybe that person just missed their chance. They didn't know how to just deal with it like that, and I was just like, I can't do that. Y'all out here real bad. Y'all too invested in my life real bad. My Carisha voice, cause no, and so I'm just still, trusting God, and just trusting God that I'm gonna be able to trust somebody. And I know, you don't put your trust in no man, but I just wanna, I guess when I say trust, I'm like feel comfortable, feel safe, feel secure with somebody. And yes, preferably it's a man. Preferably, sometimes I feel like it needs to be two. It don't need to be no female. But last night I had this little feeling about, and I don't know if it was last night or early this morning, thinking about some gay stuff, and I'm gonna just be real for just a split second, because I'm like, nah, that ain't me. The devil be bound. And of course I go into prayer like, don't let it be my child either, feeling again the pressure. Because you can get to a point where you're like, man, I can't beat them, I might as well join them. Everywhere I turn, I'm just going to use this as an example. Everywhere I turn, it seems to be somebody gay, or somebody comfortable doing some gay stuff, or somebody bisexual or whatever, and that don't mean that I'm down, and I mean, hey, I don't like it and I don't care for it. I don't necessarily agree with it. And when I say necessarily, it's because I feel like a lot of people be saying they was born that way. I do feel like a lot of people was born into bodies because of the parents got with somebody that they wasn't supposed to be with. That caused a chemical imbalance. And I do feel like people can be born feeling like, dang, I was supposed to be a girl. And they potentially could have been supposed to have been a girl. But they gonna have to fight real hard, pray real, like Carisha say, pray real bad to come out of that. And some people can say I'm wrong. Oh no, I really was born this way. I'm really supposed to be this. Okay, that's on you. I'm not gonna try to fight with you. I'm not gonna try to go back and forth with you. But I do feel like people really have reason to believe and strongly feel like they were born like that. And I say that because within myself, I have some features that looks more manly or masculine or whatever, and things like. But I got a whole vagina, I got a whole uterus, I got a whole, what I'm saying? I got fallopian tubes. I come on my cycle, and I'm, of course, outward appearance, I look like a female, but voice sound a little deep sometimes. And my so-called mom she didn't have the softest voice. She had a deeper voice. Um, and things like that. And just sometimes I just know that some parents just wish that they had a boy wish that their first child was a boy and this and the third, and some of that stuff just could have factored in. So that's why I say that. But other than that, aside from that, no, I don't. I do not agree with a homosexual lifestyle, and I don't want to play into that. I don't want to feed into that. I don't want to give nobody no ammunition to be living like that at all. Because you cannot recreate and procreate with the person of the same sex as you, and that's just on period. I don't care if you transgender and you change over and you get this, you you was a female, and then you change over to a man, and I guess you still got a uterus, so you look like a man who's able to have a baby, but you're not. And vice versa, whatever. But yeah, so anyway, that's that on that. Um, so definitely just steady praying for my daughter, cause I'm like, baby, let her miss all them opportunities for somebody to try to pressure her and I don't know. Lord, you know her so-called grandma's location and whatever she got going on, whatever she may be trying to stir up. I don't latch on to my daughter. I mean, I know she's already trying to, but don't latch on to my child. I pray. I want to pray that her so-called dad don't allow it, but at this point, he just man, I don't know what he is as far as today. I don't have too much of an update on him. I have feelings about him that I just don't like him, and I have dreams and stuff that show certain stuff that I don't really even try to look at more than once because I just don't want to think about him like that. It was times when I definitely wished he was dead, and it was more so after he done on me, spoke over my life. Oh, I'm waiting on your ass to die. But it was some genuine stuff just on my end that I don't want you tampering with my daughter in a foul type of way. I don't want you trying to hand her over to your so-called mom, your so-called people. And I do feel a little better that even, I know a lot of people don't want to hear, but that his dad is dead. That's just another person that cannot get their talents in my child and stuff like that. Um, yeah, he met her when she was first born and stuff like that. He met her basically before her own so-called dad. And see, that wasn't order. And if I'd have known better, I wouldn't have let him meet her before her own so-called dad met her. But his so-called mom slipped that up in there, and now he gone, And honestly, I be feeling like you touched the right one, but at the same time, you touched him with the wrong type of spirit, like, because he did hold my child, and my boy's so-called dad's dad does not get to see them like he was up close and personal, and he told people I don't get to see him. He was to me, I thought he was able, but maybe it was just a protection of God from keeping them from him. But when one of his sons died, he was able to at least come up and hug him, and then that's when he hugged one of my sons. I don't think he did both, but come up and hug him and stuff like that. And yeah, and then it was just other people that was I'm thinking that was like kept at a distance from my children. I mean, and I just always thought, hey, maybe they don't want to be around them or whatever. But I don't know. But I'm glad that I didn't necessarily invite them or try to include them. At that time, I had already, if you will, experimented with my daughter, which I didn't mean to, but she was the first one, so I kind of experimented. So I knew next, like, oh, I'm not letting everybody in this. I ain't let everybody in no room with none of my sons. I let people in, but I ain't let everybody in like I had did with my daughter. Um, I just wasn't finna let everybody just touch on them. Um, I still learned even more with them, even if it's so-called relatives, and that's just to me, that's for certain situations where you have kids out of wedlock because you naturally and supernaturally you should be able to allow your kids to get to know their relatives, their family members and stuff like that. But the world we live in and the way we bring children into the world with so much confusion, you cannot let everybody touch them and access them, else you really literally giving them over and initiating them into the trap of the enemy, keep their lives just continuously going in some kind of spiral. Oh, I didn't know I was 36 minutes in, so this is gonna be 2 videos. to keep their lives going in some type of down spiral and stuff like that. And I just like learned and somehow snapped out of it. I'm definitely giving credit to God, and somebody prayed me into the will of God. And even if that somebody was somebody that was a relative for me, and that's what they was meant to do, and then we gotta go our separate ways. Hallelujah! I give God the glory for that. But but yeah, so that's that. About that or whatever. I guess somebody get off because it's really some things I still didn't feel like getting up this morning and definitely want to go back to sleep. Um, as soon as I woke up this morning and all that, but I know I'm gonna definitely be doing the things that I need to do around the house because I did some yesterday and I'm this to me is definitely a snail pace, but slowly but surely it's working out in some kind of way. I'm getting it done because I don't just want to be a slack type of person. I don't want to procrastinate and stuff like that. I've been down and feeling down about some stuff, and that was another thing. People don't even know. I get down, I feel down. They don't necessarily see me smiling, but they don't see me when I'm, what I'm saying, down about stuff. Because I be in the house and I get in the bed and I'll just get my healing and I'll recoup. And I'll take as long as I feel like I need to. And so, yeah, I'm not trying to be no slack person. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing my part, and of course, I'm trusting God that my part includes, of course, being involved with my kids, all of them. And baby, when I tell you, as much as I want my daughter back around, I just I know I don't want the issues and stuff like that, and that's another reason why God is like, be careful what you come into agreement with. But I do know that I want to be a mom to all of my kids. And that's just period. I want to be actively and hands on. If I don't get nothing else out of this life, that's what I want. There's more that I want, but and I really be feeling like a lot of these females, they just be going through the motions. Uh, I know most of us got it in us, to have that natural affection and stuff towards our kids and the mothering, but some people is real ignorant, and I don't want to be ignorant in raising my children and stuff like that. I really want to be doing what I'm supposed to do regarding them. And I say regarding them, but they're secondary when it comes to I want to be doing what I'm supposed to do regarding the will of God, regarding them, and training them up. So that whole thing. But I'm feeling like I want some breakfast food. It's 10:55 already, so place I could really order that from is like breakfast diners or something like that. But I don't even know if I'm gonna do that. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, so that's what that is. We're on 40 minutes, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop up off of here and see what I'm gonna do for the day. But, had a drink with my daughter in it, so that's why I was saying God knows her so-called grandma's location. It's summertime, so that might be an excuse for her so-called dad to send her off on his mom. Like I'm telling you, they literally work together to keep my child at one point in time, and this is why I was disappointed with the boys' so-called dad as well, because he was in my life actively somewhat, but that was the same year that that I was pregnant with our second son, and he had put his hands on me. Well, he had, he was the initiator and the aggressor, so he followed the instructions of them, and they told him no contact or something like that, because he wasn't talking to me. They told him no contact. They didn't tell me, and I was still trying to talk to him. I was trying to get past it. I'm not saying it was normal for us, but it was normal for us to kind of get into stuff. But at this point in time, he had got in trouble or felt in trouble or whatever with the law, and he really went no contact. And I'm like, not when I'm pregnant with this child, and like we literally, I was so bothered, honey. It pissed me off so bad. And that's when they took my child and they kept her and stuff like that. That was the first time they did that. And I'm like, what? And then they had to come back for her insurance card. Because I guess she got sick or something. I was thankful for that. God used the situation. But literally this time, he he and then me, and left the door open. So I was disappointed that he wasn't here to help me. I didn't even have a vehicle at the time. I was relying on my now deceased grandma for a ride to the doctor's office and stuff like that. But I didn't have a vehicle, and I needed his help with, of course, our child that was on the way, but just with my daughter as well, who was already here and in this household. And I expected him to help me, and he didn't. That should have been a deal breaker, but, I also knew that, well, damn, he ain't gotta fully accept my child, I guess, but I don't know. It was just weird. But anyway, let me go.